Good evening. About 3 years ago, my daughter at the time was 9 years old. So she wanted to play soccer. So I searched and I found a local league close to our house. And I went and signed her up. She started practicing. She practiced for a good week and a half. And she went to all her practices. She got all the equipment, everything. So then the following Saturday, the very next Saturday, they had like a practice game, like a scrimmage, right, in the morning. So I worked overnight, got home, slept like 2 hours, got my daughter ready. We got to the game a little earlier, right? And when we went earlier so she could stretch, right? She could warm up a little bit. And when we got there, we saw that there was a game going on, all boys versus all girls, right? So, and then I noticed when me and my daughter and I were watching it that the ball never passed half of the field. It always stayed, meaning the boys were dominating, right? And the ball stayed on their side, you know what I'm saying, on their half, about to score it, right? So, which it wasn't fair at all. And then we started watching, after watching a few minutes, we saw one of the boys, diving with his cleats, right, at one of the girls' foot, and she started crying. And then we're seeing the boy's father cheer, yeah. And I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? I play football myself. I play for Mississippi State, so I'm like, what's going on here, man? How can these people be cheering for that, right? They don't see the fact that they're cheering for future domestic violence, right? Because you're showing your kids that it's okay to not only compete, but kind of be aggressive and attack with your cleats, where you can really harm the other, the other team's player, and it happens to be a girl, right? So, man, it was so wrong, so many different levels. So, all right. So when the coach got there, I spoke to him. I said, let me ask you a question, because that was the game before our game, right? And I said, is my daughter gonna play, against all boys? He goes, yeah. No, it's just a scrimmage so you can get better, I'm like, look, I understand, I understand this beyond you, right? Beyond your control. But my daughter's not playing against all boys. I signed up, and one of the questions that I asked the league was, is it girls against girls? And they told me, yeah, I'm sorry, my daughter cannot play. So you see, I could have been a follower, just gone with the flow, a sheep, right? But then I decided to go with the logic, This is a beautiful opportunity to teach my daughter, right, to stand up for what she believes. Even though she was dressed up and she was all ready to go and play, I explained to her, right? And she understood. She knows the difference, right? So instead of just going with the flow to be cool, right? You're talking about 3 years ago, right? When it was really, really, really was a hot subject, right? I didn't care. Because I don't care about who thinks what about me, right? I don't care if people like me or don't. My responsibility, right, is to raise my daughter the best way I can. And as a man, as a father, my responsibility is to teach her, not only teach her, protect her, right? And keep her away from harm, right? And at the same time, I don't want my daughter to compete physically with a boy, so later on she's programmed that way, and then later on when she gets married, she thinks domestic violence is normal. Because if we believe that the brain is a sponge, whatever you put in there, whatever information you put in there, is what they're going to show later on in life, right? So I just wanted to share that, man. Please, man, just go with your gut feeling, go back to your principles, go back to your logic, all right? Forget about the views, man. That's all like altering. That's all like programmed in a certain way to self-destroy yourself, all right? Remember one thing. When they asked China or Russia or the countries, will you launch a rocket, an attack on the United States? And they said, no, we don't need to do that, because the United States will destroy themselves within, right? And what's the future? Our kids. All right, God bless you and have a beautiful night.